Hi, I'm Laurie.
I'm Isaac.
And we're the semi-successful boy duo.
Slaves.
And you're checking out
MayTheRockBeWithYou.com.
Alright guys, Slaves, welcome to Australia.
Thank you.
And welcome to May the Rock Be With You. Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers for having us.
Now, of course, you're here for the massive Download Festival. People haven't seen you before, first time in Australia. What can people expect when they come and see you live?
Family fun.
And we're not like any other band you've ever seen. So it's unique.
Okay. That's all we need to say about that. Nice one. Other side of that though, it's a very, very big bill. Is there anyone you're excited to see on the bill?
Slayer.
Last one. Yeah.
And
Judas Priest.
Fever 333, just because I just want to see like what mad acrobatics they get up to.
Yeah. Jason's amazing.
Yeah, crazy dude.
Love that guy. Now, I feel like bands these days really need to bring it live, right? From everything I've read, as you just said, you guys are completely insane live, which is amazing. You got to get people's attention these days, right? So how important is the live aspect of the show to you guys?
That's like kind of, yeah, it's everything to us. It like that comes first, and like we've kind of spent a lot of our career trying to make our record as good as our live show, because we've always been known as a live band.
Yeah, like when we started, we never thought we'd even get to a point where we could record our music because it's so expensive. So like being a band, it almost didn't dawn on us that making an album was a realistic thing to do for years, because we were just like, we're in a band, bands play live, and that's all that mattered. So like it was almost like everything was focused on that. And then it was like, oh, we could actually make a record. And
yeah, I still feel like live though is our thing. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
nice.
what we're best at.
And you've done a couple of club shows already here in Australia. How have they gone?
Yeah, wild. We had one last night in Brisbane, and it was just like, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, good crowds, good energy.
really good,
Yeah, mad
like,
energy.
really broad demographic as well, like half, like all young, old, men, women, just like everyone going mental.
Oh wow, that's cool. When you come to a territory for the first time though, what are the feelings like? Are you nervous about coming here? Think anyone's going to turn up? Like,
Yeah,
who's going to know us?
just didn't really know what to expect, but we've been just like blown away by both shows. Just
That's awesome.
yeah, insane. Can't wait to come back here and do more already.
Yeah, my favourite thing about festivals is that you may not know a band, but you go and check them out. And I've found many bands just by going, I'll go and have a look at them, and
Yeah,
they just blow
exactly.
you away. So get up there and do it.
Hopefully that'll happen for us tomorrow. Yeah.
That's the way. Now, you also just released your newest album sort of mid-late last year. How's the cycle been since it's been out?
Yeah, good. Like we've sort of done the most extensive tour we've ever done, and like we're getting to a point where we've got some like really big territories that we never expected. So like we were playing to like 1,000 kids in Moscow, and it's really doing well in the UK and Europe. So it's just been really surreal, and it was like our most sort of radio successful album we've had. So everything feels like we keep steadily going up, and it's really crazy to think we're on our third album, because we're only like in our mid-20s. So
Yeah, it still feels like there's no sort of like lid on it. Like we feel like, I think when we first started, before it could only go so far, and it's like exceeded that by so much, and like it's just exciting and weird.
Yeah, cool. There's so much energy in the live music though, the recorded music. Do you record it live together in the studio? How do you do it to get that sort of, to gel?
It kind of varies. Like some tracks we do together, sometimes we kind of layer it up, but
the core of it is always like, there's always a guide track. So like we play to click now because we've got better at our instruments.
Nice.
But like there'll be like a click on, and then we'll like record together, and we'll get a track take of it we like, and then Isaac will go back in and do the drums, and then when he's finished I'll go back in and do the guitar, and then we'll do it. And that's generally the feel. And then very like, if there's some song that just doesn't feel right, we'll like Lies I Wish They Had at the end of that track where it goes into like a thrash out, like the click will come off just before the breakdown, and then we just go completely live.
yeah.
Nice.
When we play live like shows, it's very much like spontaneous and everything's off the cuff. But like when it comes to the studio, we're quite perfectionist.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. A lot of bands are loose in the studio and just go in there and do whatever, but that's good to know that you do it that way.
They're two art forms that you can master, whereas like it's quite common that someone just goes, you need to just go and fucking record it live, make it sound exactly like you do, and it's just like, well, that defeats the purpose of a studio, because a studio is where you should experiment. And people like Bowie are just like proof of like the crazy things you can push your band in different directions.
Yep.
Even if you never play those songs at a gig, they're like two art forms that people are too like narrow-minded about, especially in the punk world. So like I like really hope that we just keep pushing the studio aspect like broader and broader, and then still bring it live in a different way.
Yeah.
Like you might have a live fan and a recorded fan.
I like that though. That's a good idea. But the whole punk thing, I love it. Like it's I feel like it's back.
Yeah.
But when I was listening to your stuff, it's kind of like, it's catchy and the riffs and all sorts of things. It's like rock punk, but like commercial, but not. I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's amazing. It's good. Don't get me wrong.
Jeez.
But I love that punk is in the mainstream sort of now and moving towards that again. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, and is punk in the UK still a big thing over there at the moment?
Yeah.
Right now it is. Feels like it's a real exciting time for like that, especially that kind of guitar music. People's ears are pricked up and everyone's kind of like up for it.
Good.
There's tons of like, so you have like Idols who are leading the charge, and you've got Shame, Dreamwife, Fontaine's DC, Murder Capital. Bands like, when the scene starts to evolve, bands that aren't even punk but are like along for the ride, like you talk to some of them and they're like, we're not a punk band, but it's an attitude. It's like the same way that we're not necessarily a punk band, and you get these old punks coming to your show going, you're not a punk band, I was around in 77. It's punk's like an attitude, and going out there and just going, we're gonna have fun and do whatever we want. And that's why our band's slightly strange, because it's like partly comedy as well, but it's also very deadly serious. So can't put my finger on it.
Nice little combination there. Now, over the 6 years or so that you've been making music and been together, what's the one thing you've learned about the industry and being in a band you didn't think was a part of it all when you first started?
That it's completely self-led. Like no one gets there because someone else puts them there. So and so at a label or whatever is nowhere near as important as you are. Like if you don't have the drive and ambition to get yourself there, no one else is ever going to do it for you. So I'm sort of like believing in yourself is like the most crucial. Any sort of misstep we've ever made as a band, or any like,
It's been when someone else has had a say.
or when we've stopped caring.
Yeah.
So like when we've gone, like for instance, we've been like really stressed out and been like, oh, you just find someone to make us a video, and the video's been absolutely
It comes out
terrible.
shit.
And then we've had to go and rethink it, and everything's got to come from you. You've got to care about every aspect of it. Especially in this day and age, it's not just making music, it's like making artwork, like working with producers, making friends, going and doing promo. It's like being in a band is a way bigger picture than just playing a guitar.
A lot of people have done that, and the other thing they always say is the business side of it. They just think you get out and play songs and go out and do it, but there's so much more involved in being in a band.
Even just sitting down and designing your merch, if you're not interested in that, you've just like cut off a huge source of revenue.
Yeah, right.
Like you've got to take interest in it all, because that's how you can hopefully make a career out of it.
Yeah, cool. The other side of that is there one piece of advice you guys were given when you started a band and started making music that you still stick to and go back to this day?
Just be nice to everyone on your way up, because like when you're on your way down, that's like, we just treat everyone how we want to be treated.
You walk into a venue and you say hello to the barman, you say hello to like anyone. You're like, you don't deserve to be there. Like everyone is like trying hard in their own respective jobs, so you just got to be a good person.
Nice. Good way to win fans too, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even about that, but it is a good way to win fans.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
If you can make the people that work in those clubs your fans, that's how you're going to get out of the clubs.
Yeah, nice. Now, even though it's only been 6 years, a lot of stuff can change in 6 years, but what's the one thing that stayed the same about you guys from the start?
It's just us, isn't it?
I feel like just our general attitude towards music, like especially like live music, has just been exactly the same. We walk into like any room, however, whatever size it is, like a festival or a tiny club show, with exactly the same mentality for the show.
that sort of like pairing in with the question before and the thing that's never changed is a rule that we set. What Isaac told me after our first ever gig, I came off and I was like, oh, this bit was good, that bit was, and he was like, never analyse a gig. Once it's done, it's done. Like under the carpet, move on. It's a gig, it's good.
Yeah, I can't stand people dwelling on shows.
Yeah, right.
It really fucks me off when bands get off stage and they're just like, oh shit, I could have done this better. It's like, it's done.
We've had to go in and give support bands like pep talks before, like stop talking shit to each other when you come off stage because you're just digging yourself a hole. Like you've just got to be pumped to go and do it again. And all the times you mess up, people don't normally notice anyway.
Not at all.
So you just got, it's like, we've always had this like, there's never a bad show because we have that mentality that we just have fun.
That's awesome. Jeez, how old do you say you guys are? Like, such a good attitude.
27 and 26.
Far out. That's a good attitude to have. Now, I was speaking to Renee a minute ago. She told me you've got some great big shows coming up later this year. Supporting the Foo Fighters, I
Yeah,
believe?
we're playing Bella Houston Park in Glasgow with Foo Fighters.
Not a bad gig.
No, it's
Big
not.
one, yeah.
We played Cow Jam this summer and I turned around and like Dave Grohl was like stood at the monitor. We were on at like midday, so I was like, oh, they're not even going to be here yet. And he was stood like side stage. And I got a good story. I went into, they have a jam room, the famous Foo Fighters jam room. So I like had my wristband on and I was like, can I go in this room, to like the dude on the door, and he was like, yeah, sure, because he was like, you've got the right band on. So I go in and I sit down and I was like, this is the Nirvana drum kit. And anyway, I start like smashing these drums and my friend's filming it, and these huge, like they look like ex-SAS Marines walk in, like shouting at me, like say like telling like
Delete the footage.
delete the footage, like stealing the camera off of us. Who told you could be in here? And all this shit got like pulled out of the room. And I was like, that guy said I could be in here. He's like, no, he didn't. And like I was like shitting myself.
Wow.
So like that was before they'd announced they were doing the reunion, and I got kicked out of their jam room.
Yeah, but then later on when you spoke to Dave, he was like, you could have stayed in there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I thought you were going to say. He came in and this great thing came from it, and like,
So,
Yeah.
so Dave would have let me, but I think their big security guards would have got in trouble because I slipped the net.
Yeah.
that's awesome. So, anything else you got coming up that you want to share that's happening? Big things.
We're going to be releasing an EP sort of just before summer, so that's the next sort of move. New
Yeah.
little bit of music, and then
We want to try and get back out here, like maybe at the end of the year, like start of next year, just like,
Back in summer.
yeah, they're nice.
And when you say summer for the EP, you mean
English summer,
Okay,
sorry.
so
So like
yeah.
June.
okay. Excellent. And the one thing I always do is I try and get people to look ahead to the future. So I want you to finish this sentence for me. In 2019, slaves will.
Have 2 babies.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Slavies. No. Excellent. Guys, thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.
Absolute pleasure.
Nice one, dude.
Isaac,
Thank you.
Laurie, thanks, man.
Cheers.